coming up.
See, I would be very honored if a ghost chose to haunt me, because I feel like if anyone you could have picked, you picked me.
No.
Yeah, like you woke me up in the middle of the night.
No, stop.
Stop it.
Stop. Have you encountered demons?
No, just demon twinks, okay? So I liken my job to that of a mailman, right? Like I don't write the letter, I just kind of deliver the message. Yeah. So if you have hemorrhoids, it's my job to relay that in a way that's sensitive to, what you got going on. What I don't understand is why pain is such an inherent part of the human experience.
His love life is talked about all over the internet. He was on Dancing with the Stars despite not being able to dance. He once wrangled a kangaroo with his bare hands.
I did what?
He's your favorite reality TV fuckboy reformed. He can make a woman fall in love at first sight. He is Harry Jowsey, boyfriend material.
What is going on, my loves? Welcome back to Boyfriend Material. Today we have the most interesting guest ever. I'm joined by the Hollywood medium himself. He's a host of Live from the Other Side. He's an author. His tour, An Evening of Hope and Healing, does kick off this month. It is Tyler Henry. Hello, my friend.
Hello, I'm bringing the girlfriend to the boyfriend material. It's nice to see you, Harry Jowsey.
Good to see you as well. Oh
yes.
my God. Happy belated birthday.
Thank you so much. 140 years old.
It's crazy.
And I don't look a day over 39.
Yeah, you don't.
Thank you.
What'd you do for your birthday?
I just sat there and just kind of contemplated. I just thought everywhere I go, there I am.
Wait, did you predict that you're going to have another birthday this year?
I saw it coming. Yeah. And generally the approximate date as well. It was really impressive.
Did you know the time that it happens?
I'd asked my mom on that one. She said 8:30 for those the astrology girlies.
Wait, she's a psychic as well?
She just knew when I came out of the exit wound.
Wait, you know what's crazy?
She was there.
Yeah, well, she was?
She was.
She made it through.
I was, thankfully, yeah. She's not in the spirit realm, but I was a C-section.
Wow.
And was 3 months early. 3 months early. I got out of that cooter. I broke out.
What?
Bust out. I said, I'm never going back in one of those again. Not happening. So,
wait, 3 months early?
Yeah, I started my career young.
You know what's crazy? Me and my brother, we were born at the same time.
At the exact same time?
Exact same time. It was like 5:21.
Did you consume your twin in the womb, or how did that work?
We're both IVF, so that might have something to do with it. I don't know if that works.
Very interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Non-traditional. I love it.
Yeah, well, my dad had a few problems. He was a bit of a silly sausage. But anyway, look, back to you. Okay? You've pretty much met every person under the sun.
One or two people.
Yeah. Has there been any celebrity that's like impressed you the most?
Yeah,
just
elevator music is gonna start playing. Just elevator music. Well, I think it's always the ones that surprise us. Like the like down to earth people. For me, I really are what I love to spend time with. And like LaToya Jackson was pretty down to earth. It was just kind of interesting for someone being so public in her persona. To kind of connect in a more intimate way, beyond just kind of how she's known for like so it was like we were able to kind of go beyond that surface level, and it just kind of shows we all are having the human experience.
Is it weird to meet someone maybe you idolize and then be like, oh, they're really vulnerable, like I can see what's going on?
Yeah, I remember RuPaul. That was really intense experience because that was somebody. I mean, not only are they like 6 foot tall, but really looming presence, and kind of intimidating.
For sure.
Yeah, just not wanting to be, but just it's just RuPaul.
Yeah,
so
big deal.
Like, but it was really interesting. I was able to connect to their dad and brought through, a message around forgiveness and reconciliation, and it was something that I don't think they ever thought they would get from their dad. So it kind of finally came through.
It's wild. I also want to thank you for giving me one of the best friends on the planet, Amanda.
Oh, of course.
She is the coolest person. Ever since that, we've been hanging out.
Yes.
She is so lovely.
She's so lovely.
Have you guys been hanging out? You guys good friends now?
We have. We have hung out since, and every week she and I get to go live together.
Yeah.
3 p.m. on Wednesday.
Yeah. Do you want to explain your show that we did? Because I'm sure, like, if you haven't seen it, you should watch it. Tyler, take it away.
It's definitely a unique premise. So I work as a psychic medium. But really the idea with it is that every single week I meet with a celebrity and a number of people that they bring along. And these are usually friends or family, or sometimes strangers. And basically people who are there to potentially have an experience. Now, I never know who is going to be read. Yeah. And in the moment, I have about 43 minutes to connect and to come up with impressive details about their personal lives things that only they know. And very often we find that's like innermost thoughts, inside jokes, sometimes some private things, but it's insightful. And the goal is to be able to bring forward validation that helps kind of move people forward with where they're at in their life.
And it was crazy.
Oh.
It was really wild.
It was fun.
No, honestly, okay, guys, like he's like, oh, there's one person here that connects two people. And me and my best friend, Christian, we had lost someone, and which was really wild. And then you said you figured out I had skin cancer, and a bunch of other wild stuff was going on. Was there anything that you in those experiences you're like, oh, I probably shouldn't say this?
No. I mean, generally I'll relay everything. So I liken my job to that of a mailman, right? Like I don't write the letter, I just kind of deliver the message. Yeah. So if you have hemorrhoids, it's my job to relay that in a way that's sensitive to, what you got going on.
Wait, how would you deliver How would you deliver just so now I know.
He has a hemorrhoid, I can sense it.
Yes. Yeah, go get that checked.
Terrible. See which way the wind's blowing. There's lots of ways you can check Harry. You could consult a physician. There are ointments and there are solutions.
Yeah, and nothing's coming up.
I think you're okay for now.
Okay, for now? What do you mean?
Well,
Wait, what do you mean? Okay. Woo.
We'll see.
Yeah.
To be continued.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously, apart from me and my friends, is there any other favorites that stood out to you?
Oh, well, I think our first one with Chriselle was really interesting from Selling Sunset. That being the first time I'd done a live show on Netflix. And so the pressure was on. And what was so interesting with that was kind of what was symbolized, like when her mom came through, Stevie Nicks and like all these kind of interesting images started coming in that kind of all conveyed who she was in a really beautiful way. So it's very interesting to see when they bring up certain things, how those things take on a deeper meaning when people pass away.
Has it been a reading where you're like, damn, I wish I could go back and do that again?
Yeah, probably Billy Porter. That reading was really intense. There was a lot of energy. It was thrown in a lot of different directions. And what was so interesting about that one was there was a message about a specific song that was to be played at a funeral. And the person I was relaying this to had indeed chosen not to play that song at the funeral, despite the wishes of the person who had passed.
Oh my God.
So it was one of those like weird, uncanny details that you couldn't guess. And I literally said the name of the song and the artist who sang it. And so stuff like that, it makes for a really interesting connection, but I want to go deeper. And I only have 43 minutes.
So we should yell at Netflix, give him a 2-hour special once a week.
I like the way you think.
Yeah,
absolutely.
More money, more time. There we go. But what about non-celebrities? Is there any, like when you're on your, there's a dog there.
Ghost dog.
No, but when you're on your live show,
yes,
on the live tour, is there any like incredible experiences or any readings that you want to go back to?
Oh, every single reading is immersive. And I find that when we do live shows, whether it's 2,000 or 5,000 people, whether there's people at the front row or the very back, it's really equal opportunity. And I remember I did a reading a few months ago where I brought through a firefighter who had passed away. And he had died tragically, and he was a family man. And what was coming through was this very clear symbol of looked like a shamrock. And I just kept getting this symbol, and I didn't understand what it meant. But as I conveyed this, the person I was reading in the audience said that the man had been found, and there was a shamrock pendant, something that you put like a keychain, and it said "number one dad" on it. And it was one of the few objects they were able to recover from his body. And so that object symbolized not only being like number one dad, but it was one of the few things they had to still remember him by. And that got brought up to a complete stranger in an audience.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
That's wild.
So I'd like to go back to that one. That would be interesting. Just kind of do a
little
little follow-up, touch base.
Yeah, how you doing?
See how the kids are doing. You know. Right.
You still got the shamrock?
Yes, exactly.
Is there any stories or any readings that have been like weirded you out where you're like, this is kind of strange?
There's definitely been times where people will get remarried, and that provides a very interesting dynamic. So a person will sit with me and say, my husband passed away a decade ago, and I got remarried 5 years ago, and how does he feel about it? And you just gotta
how do you lie your way through that one?
He's happy, he's good, he's solid. He says,
he says, keep it up.
Keep it up, right. Yeah. And there are medications now in this day and age where you can go on to have mini marriages thereafter, well into old age.
Wow.
But that's always kind of an interesting dynamic. But again, to be handled sensitively. And I think that's why there's an importance on like diplomacy with being a medium. You gotta be sensitive to people's feelings,
Yeah.
but still relay the essence of the message.
Did you always have that talent to be sensitive with people's feelings? I'm not very good at that.
Oh no!
I break everyone's heart.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's if I look like you, I would be a lot less tactful. I would. People who look like me have to be nice.
Stop.
We can't rely on.
You're perfect. No, but
You're sweet. I've always been more of an introvert. I don't
Okay.
generally like public speaking. Don't tell anyone.
Okay, wow.
But I don't like to be in front of people.
Yeah.
So no, I think I just always try to be mindful of people's feelings.
Yeah.
And try to have some tact.
Wow. Yeah. Okay, so early life.
Yes.
Explain to the people, how did this gift come on?
Sure.
And we were learning a little bit before that apparently you weren't too liked in your town when you were growing up.
Well,
I
was definitely polarizing.
Okay.
I think, yeah. I was conceived in the Grand Canyon. My parents told me.
Wow.
So thanks, Mom and Dad.
That's an interesting place to get it done.
Great visual in
I
a
would love
tent,
to do that.
apparently. I don't know what happened. I think the aliens beamed me down into the uterus and then I'm here. And then I just popped out like a weird Jack in the Box. But yeah, that happened. And then at 10 years after that, I had my first premonition. So when I was 10 years old, had my first psychic experience where I basically knew my grandmother was going to die before she did. And then that just kind of kicked it off. And these moments of intuition just continued to happen.
And then what happened when word got around town that you were able to speak to the other side?
Well, it wasn't really understood so much as being like an ability or even being a medium, as much as I would just say these things that happened to be accurate. And it would occur, with other kids at school about their personal lives, ended up applying to their parents. And then I started saying things to teachers. And for the most part, I think people were just kind of stunned. Some people thought, oh, that's kind of interesting. And then other people were really frightened and felt that it was demonic. Because I grew up in a very conservative community full of very religious people. And so I had a prayer circle for my soul and the whole thing they did. And
What?
when I was 10 years old, and I made the mistake of confiding in my dear friend whose mother was really, really religious, and
No way.
ended up going to the church and trying to do a whole Christ seance for me. It was like
How'd that go?
the meeting of the hands,
Yeah,
but
really?
the opposite of
What?
of a Ouija board. It was like the
No
opposite of that.
way.
It was like hello, 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 hello. So I was talking in tongues, dancing with snakes, trying to get the devil out.
Yeah.
But so it was a lot to process with identity, being 10 years old and being like, oh, there's people praying for your soul because you're going to hell.
Whoa.
So I had to kind of be like, well, I don't really care.
Whoa. Yeah.
Grab the weenies, we'll make a roast. What can you
Thanks,
do?
guys.
Yeah.
Did you have to be like, okay, it's out of me. Thanks, sweet ass.
No, I was like, the devil's only getting stronger. I don't know what's happening, you guys. Then I hit 13 and hormones started kicking in and it just got worse worse before you knew it. They were going to string me up. Yep.
No way.
And they were. But here I am.
Did you have any friends that were jealous of your gift and they started pretending to do it?
I don't think they were. Yes, there
There
were. There
we
were
go.
times people were like, "Oh, I can do that too," and then they do it, and then wah.
No, it didn't work.
It didn't work out.
Wait,
and I would sabotage them. I'd be like, "No, you can't."
That's my thing.
Yes, exactly. Stay in it's my lane, honey.
Yeah. Do you believe in Ouija boards?
I mean, they exist. Yeah.
Okay. Well, no.
They're there. There's the thing.
Is it actually connects?
I think that there's times where it might. Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, because I remember in high school, this girl told me that she figured it out and she got thrown across a room.
Whoa.
But then I'm like, what?
Everyone's getting their back blown out
That's-
paranormally from Ouija boards.
That's
I
what
have
I'm
never
saying.
seen someone fly into the air and hit a wall, but I know and they're always British girls.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, if they're British Australian. Charlie Travers,
Yeah.
who
She
was
got
my
her
assistant.
back blown out?
Not quite, but she had a very frightening experience with a Ouija board. So these things happen,
But
but
I
never to me.
I thought she was like, yeah.
I'm like, come on, Daddy.
Come on. Come through. Where are you?
Nothing. If I need to get a board, I mean, that's all it takes.
Oh my
You can
God.
uninstall Hinge
No, all these girls are gonna go buy Ouija boards now to get blown out.
at the very least.
Yeah.
A planchette works.
Oh my God. When you meet another medium, do you guys have a sense of mind reading each other?
Yeah, we just hit rings.
Really?
We do this.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
Wow,
just
and
a
the world
homunculus is
explodes.
just
Yeah. No,
born
does
into
that happen?
you. No,
Oh.
not really. It's actually very boring. We just kind of look at each other critically and try to not compare careers. Yeah.
Well,
When we're incomparable, but
yeah, I was gonna say
no. It's very funny. Well, mediums historically have always had a funny independent way of being, and very rarely commune together.
Really?
Yeah, we're
Why
kind
don't we
of
all just get together and read the world?
I know, a catty bunch of badgers.
Yeah, what is going on, guys?
I don't understand.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I know.
Have you met any? Obviously, you don't have to say the name if you don't
Yeah.
want to. But any fake mediums?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I've had lots of different experiences. I think what I learned is I view it less as like fake or real. There's like people who have fake moments and are real, or real and then have fake moments. So it's kind of tricky. There were people I didn't expect to give me something legitimate, and then there was elements of truth in what they were saying.
Oh, is there any like card readers? Are they fake?
You know, card readers, it's hard to kind of paint it with a broad brush, but
damn
I just generally,
gonna...
it's a tool, right?
Okay.
Like a hammer or like a nail. And just like you can build a house with a hammer and a nail, you can also, you know, I don't know, hang yourself up. Like
No, because I've only had it done once, and the lady's like, your career's got to go in two directions.
Uh-oh.
One will be really good for you, and the other will make you a lot of money.
I think the two directions was just your legs.
Maybe. Yeah, I think
That's what she was saying.
You're good.
It's come. I know.
You're
That's
so
why they
good.
pay
That
me the
just
big
came
bucks.
through?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wild.
This is, yeah, you're great. Can you kind of give the listeners a bit of a rundown on how you got discovered?
Sure.
Because it was, we were talking about it before. It was very, very crazy.
Yeah.
You're very young as well. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still young.
Still 140. Yes. I was, 10 years old when I had that initial premonition. And then when I was 16, I started kind of working more professionally as a medium and started doing, work out of a little bookstore in my little town.
Wow.
But my first celebrity client was with Sarah Paulson from American Horror Story. And then, from there, I just kind of read one person and another, and then a bunch of executives and all their friends and family to kind of prove myself over and over and over again. And then, the rest is history.
Do people, once you give them a reading, are they calling you all the time, like, hey, come back, I need to learn more?
Well, that's kind of one of those things where you learn boundaries. And I think in my work, it's very important to not try to present a solution as much as just a resource for people to be able to take that information, empower themselves, and then make their own choices and not have to come back or really depend on anything.
Oh, well, has there ever been any where you're like, okay, I cannot see this person ever again because it's messing with me?
Totally. Yeah, there's been times I would never tell them. But I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm booked. Oh, sorry, I got chlamydia. I don't know. Like, it's bad when you have to make up a medical excuse.
What type of readings are these?
Yeah, I'm having wet diarrhea. I have to reschedule. I'm sorry.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, yeah.
It does.
Is there a story that you could be like, hey, like this was really bad and I never wanted to see that again?
Oh my goodness.
You don't have to if you don't.
No, nothing crazy. I mean, there's been I had an instance where I was gonna meet a public figure, and right before I called out to my guide, and I was like, Walter, if this isn't meant to happen, mess it up. And the guy walked through the door, and he got a phone call right as he came in, and he was on the news, and so he had to go and respond to a homicide, and so he had to cancel the appointment. And I was like, did I just kill someone? No, I didn't. I mean, that was a joke. That was kidding.
Yeah.
But no, but I was like, he got the call to go have to race across town and report on this crime. So he never got rescheduled.
Wow.
So I kind of got a little bit of intervention.
Who was Walter?
That's my guide. That's the main kind of facilitator of readings.
Wait, and is he a nice guy? We like Walter?
Yeah, I mean, he's
stuck with him, right?
He's helpful, absolutely, and instrumental, and not something I really have much understanding of. I've always wondered, is it like a deity or a spirit or whatever?
Is it a relative? Like, who is he?
I have no clue. He kind of seems amused when I try to figure out who he is. So maybe he's an alien for all we know.
Is he in here now?
I don't know. I don't see him, but he could be in here as well. Could be just a part of myself.
Wow.
Who
Do you know
knows?
has he got a face?
He has met materialized before. Yeah. There's been instances.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Walter first popped up when you were young, or he grew with you?
That kind of started as I started having these moments of knowingness. I would start getting this feeling of a presence, and then these very strong visitations.
Whoa.
It kind of would shapeshift. It would present itself as an animal, sometimes as a person, sometimes it would look like different people. And it just kind of helped me understand that it was more than just one thing, and that it couldn't really be pinned down. So, who knows?
That is wild. I didn't know there was a Walter.
Yeah,
it's a good name.
That's right. It's kind
Shout
of
out Walter.
Walter in the house.
Yeah,
in his house. Absolutely.
Okay, so your work focuses on communicating to the other side, meaning deceased and departed. What do you not understand about the other side? Is there anything you feel like I don't have enough clarity on that?
Yeah. Fundamentally, I've learned in this work that it seems that consciousness continues to evolve. We keep going fundamentally, and we seem to continue to learn. What I don't understand is why pain is such an inherent part of the human experience.
Right.
I've came to kind of understand that tension is the byproduct of growth, and that it might be necessary for us to kind of evolve. But the nature of how much pain there is, that's kind of the hardest thing for me to wrap my mind around.
In what way? Like you just
it seems needless.
Okay.
It seems needless. Like, why does suffering have to be such a huge part of the human experience? I think that's
a really good point.
That's the big question. It's when we talk about like religion, it goes back into the problem of evil.
Yeah.
Which is a whole kind of discussion in philosophy of like why God allows bad things to happen to good people.
Right.
And there's really no easy answer for that one.
Yeah, we should get that banned.
Right. We need to make a call. If TikTok's getting banned, no.
Yeah, well, no, I said that the other day. Like, if
There
they
you
can
go.
ban TikTok, why can't they ban period cramps?
That is very apt.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Maybe you're psychic. Did you know what I'm going through? No.
Oh, really?
No,
Oh.
no, we're not that
Little
complicated.
alien baby?
Maybe, exactly.
Yeah. What's the most profound or surprising message you've received from the other side?
Most surprising message. Generally, I'm surprised by how much levity they have. So by that I mean like a sense of humor. They seem to genuinely not be taking things all that seriously.
Really?
Yeah.
So everyone on this side needs to just relax a little bit and have a giggle.
We definitely need to have a giggle. We also need to get our shit together
okay.
as just a humanity.
Wait, who? Just me?
Oh no, all of us. You're fine. We have a podcast. You're doing good.
Okay. Well.
This is different. No. But yeah, it varies.
When someone passes over,
Yes.
how quick do you think you can read them?
I used to think there was a time limit, and then I realized, it would sometimes happen instantaneously or shortly thereafter. And then there's also instances where sometimes people can kind of connect with individuals before they pass. So the amount of people out there, listeners, who might have dreamt of their grandmother right before she made her transition, or had a loved one kind of pop into their mind before they died.
Whoa.
And it happens a lot. So you have like these
Really?
pre-death visitations.
Do you think there is some of that ability in everyone, or?
Yeah, I think it just kind of reflects like a spiritual nature of being, and that we're all just kind of more complex than perhaps we realize, and multidimensional, and consciousness is very complicated. And at the very least, I think we can all agree about that.
Yeah. Yes.
It's a weird ass thing being conscious, but it's it brings up a lot of questions, and I hope this work inspires wonder. You don't have to believe, but just wonder.
Yeah.
wonder.
It got me wondering.
Yeah.
No, I remember we were on live and we were talking about animals.
Yes.
Okay, because you can read some animals or all animals?
Animals came through. They've been referenced to. I remember I sat with Linda Blair from The Exorcist. The one with the head smell.
Oh my
God. Situation. Yeah, I know. You better run. I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna start crawling on my back.
Yeah.
But she had a dog rescue of all things.
Yeah.
And I read some of the dogs and was able to kind of tune into some of their histories of like where they.
Did you
what
just start
states.
barking?
Oh,
Wow.
God! Now I'm feeling it. Now that's Tyler Henry After Dark, where we attach like the tail.
Yeah.
With the plug.
There you go.
That need to be said.
I've seen that in a few movies.
Yep.
Yeah.
After Dark. I'm saving that for my 30s, friends. That'll be on my Patreon someday.
Yeah, that'll be a good one.
That's how you'll know I've fallen.
Yeah. When you join the other side. Yeah. Okay. Wait.
No, the butt plug tail.
Yeah. Okay.
That's when you'll know
okay.
I will. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. No.
My
We're all
bad.
gonna die. Everybody transitions.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
Have you ever unintentionally channeled somebody?
Unintentionally brought someone through.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No. Isn't that a boring answer?
Oh.
I haven't.
You haven't been like with a world leader and like, oh, this person. Oh,
No.
actually, I wanted to ask you because I went to the White House.
Oh, great. This is going to go down a wonderful
No,
path. I can
no,
tell.
no. I was thinking when I was there, I was like, I
Yeah.
wonder if Tyler was here, how many past presidents would just start yelling at him?
There's that. We know Abraham Lincoln had a really scary spiritualist experience where he watched a desk levitate, and it convinced him actually that there was something going on, and it helped him promptly make decisions around the Civil War.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a whole book that I've written called "Was Abraham Lincoln a Spiritualist?"
Wait, have you ever gone to like a historical place and been like,
Yeah, not as much going on as you would expect.
damn it.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Come
like, I want to go
on.
see George Washington.
Yeah.
Like,
go hang out with them, see what's going on?
yeah, no, I think I wouldn't want to hear their input. That'd be a lot of pressure.
Yeah, it's
A
too
lot
much.
of pressure to have to relay all
You
that.
could really rewrite history though.
Yeah, we don't. That's too much of a burden. I'm good. I'll just be the mailman in the back. Yeah, in the mailroom.
Have you ever been to a place and you're like, oh, there's stuff coming through, or it has to be connected to people?
Yeah. I mean, every place has a vibe on some level,
Right.
for sure. There's like something called esoteric geography, which is this idea that certain parts of the world kind of attract certain archetypal behavior. So like northern New York was the birth of Mormonism, spiritualism, and Millerism, all between the 1830s to 1860s.
What were they doing there?
Something was going on. How did three religions start in like one singular area for the most part? And then, I mean, we see esoteric geography in the Middle East and the source of a lot of world religions all happening in like a general area. It's just very weird.
Well, there's weirdness going on.
There's something
we need to figure it out
about esoteric geography. We need to take the world, you and me.
Yeah, there we go.
Lay the ley lines together.
That's what the people need.
And we can sit on Stonehenge.
Yeah.
And
that'd be fun.
Just make it fit.
Wait, have you? What?
So that concludes that.
Yeah. Wait, have you gone to the Stonehenge?
I never have.
Okay. What about the pyramids?
No, that
Oh my
would
God.
be a real.
There's a show. There we go.
There we go.
Try to fit the pyramid.
That was the visual here. Stonehenge would be easier, but
Yeah.
probably.
No, I mean, wouldn't it be kind of crazy if you went?
It would be.
You bring.
It really would be wild. Just leave like a snail trail.
No. I mean, like,
All the way to the Great
Tutankhamun
Pyramid.
comes through. You know, that would be kind of crazy. Anyway,
would.
whatever.
It
Back to the show.
Yep.
What's
Mummy issues? We have mummy issues.
Anyway, whew. What's the most common thing that people regret at the end of their lives?
Biggest regret? I didn't have enough chocolate cake. Most people are
Really?
like, no, I really wish I would have like ate the
Indulged.
cake. Yeah, like not. Which Amanda is gonna be like, no,
Yeah.
no,
No. Yeah.
don't eat the cake. No, but I think, yeah, they don't come through talking about the gym much.
No.
But
Oh, damn
there's
it.
something to be said about the value of taking care of ourselves, putting our health first.
Boring.
I
No.
think sometimes they come through surprisingly with realizing that they stressed the small stuff a lot more than they needed to, and that seems to kind of
a good
resolve.
answer.
So if you miss the gym, well, there's always tomorrow. Eat the cake, and then give yourself a day to rebound, and all about balance.
Is there any advice you could give for people who need to live their life the fullest or would want to?
I would just say showing courage is one of the hardest but most meaningful things we can do. And to truly make an impact in this world, you have to have courage to be who you are and to be able to recognize what makes you different enough to see its value and kind of take the world's greatest need and your greatest talent and see where those two things intersect.
That's a really good answer.
Thank
I feel
you.
like you're good at
appreciate
this.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
It's like it's your job.
Well, I appreciate it.
Based on your experiences,
Yeah.
I guess a lot of people fear death.
Sure.
What is your understanding on afterlife, or I guess the continuation of what happens to us? Is there?
Yeah, it's the greatest mystery,
Okay.
and one that I openly encourage people to wonder about.
Okay.
But, from what I can say, I've seen first and foremost that with every answer, there seems to be more questions. And so I humbly really know very little. What I can kind of posit is that there is some form of a continuation of consciousness beyond physical death, and that seems to be experiential in some way.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem as simple as we go to a place, as much as they seem to reflect more of a state of being that is not just like one thing. So in life, we're kind of like one thing, one perspective. You're Harry, I'm Tyler, and we go about our day. When they pass, they seem to see themselves as more than just one thing, kind of like a bigger picture perspective.
Wow.
And it allows for them to be more of who they are, not less.
Wow. So that's kind of exciting. So
It
we
is.
should
It's
be
something to look
excited
forward
about that.
Yes, and I
Okay.
think it speaks to
Cool.
the opportunities, regardless of what we believe, regardless of belief, because
Yeah.
I don't know, and I don't have it figured out.
Yeah.
There's opportunities to be more of who we are when we're here, to seize the moment, to be creative beings, and to see where we can create in our lives. So that's why we're here.
Yeah.
Got to make babies, not literally, always.
Oh, come on.
Not
It's
literally.
fun.
No, you can do it creatively. Ask yourself, what are you here to birth?
Yeah.
And it's more than necessarily a physical thing.
Wow.
So we're all here to birth things.
We're all birthing.
Yeah, whatever it looks
We're
like.
all mothers.
I'm crowning right now, actively. The chicken nugget. It's undercooked. Get back in there.
Is there any common experiences from people that have passed over? Like, is there any hey,
Yeah.
it's kind of weird that all these people have gone through the same thing or have the same thoughts.
Sure. I think everybody, no matter how young or old, generally, when people come through, they reflect that there's some degree of acceptance that they have to find around how they lived and how they transitioned. So
Wow.
universally, I think we just have to come to a degree of acceptance and ease with how things went and how we treated others.
Do you think how someone dies affects their afterlife?
I think it can in some ways, in the same way that like a birth and the circumstances of a birth can affect a certain trajectory in life. But, universally, I think there's natural processes that occur. And I think birth, like death, is a natural process. That, we're not inclined to kind of get stuck in the birth canal so much.
Yeah.
As we're inclined to kind of keep it moving.
Wow.
Keep it going. And so when they see that tunnel,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to make sure that's not a cooter.
Yeah.
When I transition, I'm gonna look at that light and I'm gonna look back and I'm gonna go, you better make sure there's not gonna be a doctor on the other side of that light that's gonna spank my butt and say, come on, we're starting over again.
Start
I can't
again.
have it.
You don't want to do it again?
No.
What?
No.
You've had a great life.
Well, it's wonderful, but I don't want to do it again. Who wants to do it again? To round 2? No.
Yeah,
thanks.
it'd be great. Come back as a
I'm
chicken.
good. I need a refractory period. I'm fine.
You need some time off.
I just need
You've
to
been
chill.
busy.
I'll be the egg.
Yeah.
I'm just an egg. It'll be easy.
Does a human's character in this life impact their experience in the afterlife?
I would say, yeah, the essence of our character, of who we are, does clearly continue in some way, and I think we all kind of reconcile that to varying extents. I don't really view it as a process of judgment as much as it's a process of introspection.
Yeah.
So in the same way that like a 3rd grader would have a different degree of self-awareness than hopefully like an 8th grader, but still not maybe that of a 90-year-old.
Yeah.
There's kind of like levels, and to some extent there seems to be a continuity of consciousness, and we grow through that continuity.
Wow.
So
what about past lives? Do you think, is that a thing?
I think it is. I mean, I think that, but if you're eternal by nature, if you don't go anywhere, then you clearly have to have chapters, of being, and that would be lives.
Gosh, yeah. I wonder how many chapters. Wait, have you ever done ayahuasca?
I never have.
Okay.
Which is, granted, me not doing hallucinogenic drugs is quite impressive
Yeah,
considering all of what's going on up here.
I was thinking, because
I never have.
I went and did it, and I thought I had past lives and stuff. And
did you see them?
I thought so.
Do you talk to the mechanical elves?
Yeah, and when I did it in the daytime, I thought it was a chicken. So
you were, I could really see you being a chicken in a past life. Like,
think so?
I genuinely wouldn't surprise me.
that'd be fun.
You came back a little clucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little clucky. Okay, so once humans transition to the other side, can they see all truths and timelines?
I think truth itself and our understanding and definition of truth evolves.
So all the times I've lied to my parents, they're gonna figure it out.
I think they're going to see the ripple effect.
Sorry,
but
Dad.
Granted, then we all see every lie we all have told. We all kind of see that common human experience. I think people are very often afraid, like, is grandma watching me in the shower? Does grandma watch me during intimate moments? I think it helps for people to understand, like, grandma had to have an intimate moment for your parent to get here, for you to be born. Okay. Grandma had to take showers herself. So there's something to be said around this kind of sanctity that we put around ourselves, and like experiences we all are going to have. We all have. They don't judge us. They're not watching us.
I hope not.
It just simply doesn't matter in the way that it matters to us.
Well, because that was my biggest fear. Is like once my dad went, I'm like, oh, is he watching me?
Oh no, he's far above, way over there. You're, yep.
Thank God.
No, you're rolling in the hay. He's long. He's way over there. You're good.
He's happy. Okay, I wanna wait, what was I going to ask? I was going to ask a little bit about...
Let me tell you.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, do you know what's on these cards?
No, horrible test.
Okay,
Center
good.
cards.
Wait, were you good at school? Could you predict
I tried.
answers?
There were times where I would genuinely try to predict, and I would also call over the teacher, and I'd be like, come here. And then I'd point at the question, and then it'd be multiple choice, and I'd say, like, look at the question. Just read it in your mind, and look at the answers. And then genuinely sometimes I could mind read it from the teacher, just looking at it, and could figure out. I'm like, she looked at C a little longer than she should have, and then I'd be like, check.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if NASA will hire you because you'd be like, they'd be like, point at this.
There have been aerospace companies that have shown interest.
Really?
Yeah, I can't talk about it, but yeah.
No.
You'd be surprised how many sectors of technology find psychic abilities interesting.
Really?
They do.
What about the CIA?
No, not them. I haven't heard from them yet, but
I was gonna.
That would get a little too close.
Yeah,
that'd be frightening.
Because this is like astral projection, a massive real thing.
There was a Stargate program. There were remote viewing programs which tried to apply psychic abilities to psychic spying, with varying results. And I know a number of people in that program, and they've demonstrated some really interesting results to me personally.
What?
Yeah.
Can you talk about it?
Yeah, I had a guy who, from about 3,000 miles away, was able to replicate 2 images that I had sitting in front of me. He called me up and he said, I want you to pick 2 pictures completely randomly, put them in front of you, and meditate on them, and I'll tell you what they are. And so he did this.
What?
It was of a waterfall in the ISS. And it was 2 images, and from 3,000 miles away, he sent me a text message of 2 pictures he had drawn, both describing the 2 images, left and right, exactly as they were in front of me. and nailed it, and didn't accept any payment for his services. He told people.
Well, was it a good picture?
It was. It was a pretty good picture. It was like pretty succinct.
Yeah.
But he didn't accept any form of payment for this miraculous thing that he demonstrated. He really was only just interested in getting food for his dog. So I like bought him like $500 worth of dog food, and gave him like dog food because that's all that he would accept. And I was like, you have shown to me unequivocally like the power of the human mind. And he was like, thanks. Like,
what?
And then we just went about our day and I never talked to him again.
No.
Yeah. So there's like amazing people out there who do some weird stuff.
Yeah, he's probably watching right now.
I mean, that man was incredible, but one of many incredible people that just kind of live. And he was, you know, I don't want to say homeless, but living in a very anti-structural kind of way. So he clearly didn't value material things.
Had he worked with the government before? And
yeah, he had.
Okay.
He had.
And then he was homeless?
Yeah. So make that make sense. He just literally chose to live a very kind of anti-structural life. As you see is the case in a lot of these truly paranormal people. They usually are very eccentric and quirky.
Have you, once you saw that, were you like, okay, I want to learn this new skill?
You know, I've never been all that great at remote viewing. He had a natural proclivity for it and was able to teach people how to do it.
He needs to do a subscription today.
That's right. Get on Patreon.
Yeah, I will pay for that.
Right, but yeah, not my strongest suit. Yeah.
What did he tell you how he learned?
Yeah, he gave me the kind of instructions and specific brain waves and a device he wanted me to purchase to be able to control my brain waves. It was like a whole science fiction thing going on. And I just never followed up because I was like, that's a lot of work. I have a nap to take.
Yeah, yeah.
And
you got enough going on with people like me.
It'd be great to be like an X-Men, but like that'd be a lot. I don't want to like forks and spoons to like.
Wow. Well, it'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
You always got a fork.
That's right.
Whenever you need to eat.
Anytime you need to get spooned, you can just.
There you go. When you see this stuff, do you get like a little bit more curious? Like, oh, I should try that, or you're too busy?
The amount of times I've sat in front of a candle, concentrating really hard, being like, move.
Yeah.
Not an ability I have, unfortunately, but I've tried. I'll sit there with the spoon. I'll be rubbing it. My boyfriend will be like, "What are you doing, you idiot?" I'm like, it's almost there. It's almost
going to bed.
It's almost gonna do it. And it never does.
I'm getting fully sidetracked, but has there been any stories that you've heard that you're like, that can't be true, or maybe there's a little bit of truth in it, like someone doing something supernatural?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a famous medium named Daniel. That's a name. Daniel Douglas Hume, and he lived in the 1800s. And he was one of the rarest of his time because his ability allowed him supposedly to levitate into the air.
Like Chris Angel.
Mind freak. But the claim was because this guy was so weak and physically ill, there's no way he could have like faked it through like using contraptions. Yeah. But people saw him go up to the ceiling and sign his name. And to this day, there are still places throughout the UK that have his signature on a ceiling.
What?
Where he somehow got up there and signed it. So if I could meet any medium and go back in time and be like, how are you doing it? I think that he would be the one. Because really, levitating, that's insane.
That is insane.
Like you're floating around. No.
Yeah, floating around, that's too much fun.
Too much.
Give us some of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, would you go to his ceiling and get up there and be like...
Absolutely. I'd get up on all fours and just...
That
would be terrifying. No. Nobody would want to see that. No. But just on the ceiling, ass out. Well, it is a very high height. That would require a lot of work to somehow find a way to finagle yourself.
You know, that could be fun, though.
We could try.
Yeah, we could...
That sounds like a Dua Lipa song. Oh, no.
Well, I guess that goes into my next question.
Yeah.
Have you encountered demons?
No, just demon twinks, okay? No, thankfully not.
Oh,
that's why we stay out of WeHo. Yeah, they're running around, little cat suits.
I've actually got one of those.
See, you are you're a demon twunk. Twunk.
Wait, what about witches?
Witches? It's a spiritual belief, like like a paganism, Wicca.
Wait, what's paganism?
It's like the old craft, the old way.
Okay.
Yeah, so like old, kind of more pre-Judeo-Christian religions are considered pagan.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know anything. Like
that you can end it there. I don't know anything. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's when they're on the stake, right? They're like, she's got to go.
That was a thing. There were witch trials, and they were usually started by children. What? Historically, which is really strange, but yeah,
children.
If you look at like the witch trials, they were generally started by like little girls who said that the devil talked to them, and then some like old white dude believed him, and way too much, and then kind of like led to a lot of misogyny.
I was gonna say it's a terrible time to have like an invisible friend.
Yeah, awkward time to have an imaginary friend. Yeah, in Salem, you would not want to.
Or like, hey, I love my teddy. It's talking to me. It's like,
yeah,
she's
gone.
out.
Yeah, and your entire lineage. I mean, sadly, they would take out entire generations of people.
No,
just based off of a whim, which speaks to the importance of keeping superstition in check. So while I'm all about belief in the paranormal, we got to draw a line, and I think I actually have one of the original texts used to persecute witches in my office. It's light reading. And, I whip it out sometimes when I'm needing some humility, and I look at it because it was the very text used to kill people who, were just different and beat to their own drum, and very often did not even have anything paranormal going on. So, yeah.
Have you ever encountered any energies that are either like a little bit witchy or demonic?
Not really. Nothing ever negative in that sense. Anything negative that I felt has never been witchy. It's usually Wall Street feels
a little bit witchy.
Well, Wall Street feels a little negative.
Yeah,
witchiness a little less so.
Is there any areas where you're like, I can't go there because it feels a bit crazy?
Certain parts of New York, I like really structural places. I tend to kind of not love. So like trade centers, like the whole. Like I'm just trying to get like.
Yeah, that's a bit.
Yeah, heavy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Heavy.
What are your thoughts on hexes or curses? Is that a thing? Is that real?
I don't know. I have some haunted objects that are supposedly cursed. Yeah, but nothing's happened yet.
Okay.
So
wait,
you bought I'm waiting.
And you're like, hey guys, if you just want to fuck with me.
Yeah.
No.
I'm like, let's make me an experiment. I would love it.
No.
Like, wake me up. I need some. See, I would be very honored if a ghost chose to haunt me because I feel like if anyone you could have picked, you picked me.
No.
And like you woke me up in the middle of the night.
No, stop.
Stop it. Stop. We didn't even go to dinner first. Like,
stop. Watch my dad come through and get you.
No, get out of the bed. Get out of the bed. Yeah, no, can you imagine? No. Yeah.
Okay, what about a lighter note? Manifesting. Do you believe that works?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good to have goals. I think that intention breathes life into everything we do, and I think we can agree on that. Like generally, intention breathes life into what we do.
Yeah.
Is it gonna cause a Corvette to materialize out of thin air? I don't think so.
Oh,
but you know what? If it does, you have a traveling show.
Yeah.
And Daniel Douglas Hume. Has a rival.
You got some real money there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So work on it.
Yeah.
Try to see if you can concentrate hard enough. Manifest a car. But if you can't, it should inform your goals to get there.
That's a great answer. How do you interpret the concept of the veil, the boundary between life and death?
Yeah, there's different cultures call different things. Buddhists call bardo, which is like this in-between limbo state.
I like that.
The Catholics, I know it's kind of sexy.
Better branding.
Yeah, they call it the Catholics purgatory, which is a little bit more like, it's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
But the premise is the same, that there is like this in-between realm that acts kind of a bifurcation between here and there, and that we kind of traverse that as we make a transition from here to there. So some people come through, in that state and seem to kind of linger. Others, it's a very, very quick process. But it's kind of like, for me, salmon going back upstream to die,
Yeah. What do you think is a good process? I guess because when my dad passed, my sisters, they left his body in the room for 2 hours. They said the spirit needs to do his thing. And I'm like, no, get him in the furnace.
Sure.
Like, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I couldn't deal with it. But they're like, no, there was like a way to go about it. And they put like essential oils on him. They got him washed and whatever else. Is there, I guess, a good way the right way to go about it that people kind of want to do?
Sure. I think whatever way that brings comfort and allows people to culturally process the grief is important. And there are a lot of norms. In the South where my mom grew up, they often would open up the windows and they would cover the televisions so as to not have any reflections. And these were all just things that made the people and those who are mourning feel better, to have a little bit of control over a situation where there really is none. Yeah. So, from a cultural angle, that's how I view it. I don't ever have people being mad like, you didn't cremate me in time, or you picked the wrong essential oil. I like lavender, not patchouli, damn it. It's more for us. And I think grief is something to be honored, and we have certain rituals that we do culturally to process that, and that's important.
Have you thought about yourself when you're going over the other side? Is there a way you'd want that makes sense for you if you want to talk about it?
Oh, like I'm just gonna jump into a volcano.
Yeah,
like deuces, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
it's economic.
Okay.
Ergonomic. Yeah,
something.
Just jump into a volcano.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
perfect.
That's my retirement plan. Sorry, managers.
Yeah. What? Sorry, Mom.
10%?
No, is there a way, or you just whatever happens?
Oh, I don't know. After I'm gone, the last thing I'm gonna have to think about is this old meat sack. I had to worry about it long enough.
Sack.
God, I already smell like bologna. I don't even need it. Once I'm gone, I'm out of here. Yeah. No.
Okay. What about astrology?
Yeah.
Do you think that's real?
I think of it as correlative, not really causative. So I don't think that.
Wait, these are two big words.
I know, right? Well, like, okay, so I don't think the planets in the sky cause things to happen, like cause and effect. But I do think there's like a correlation behind perhaps the way things just kind of are. And so, like, I'm a Capricorn, right? And I could have been born 3 months later. It would have been something else. But there's something about just kind of like those qualities inherently, archetypally to the human experience.
You're using massive words.
That, like, apply to everybody.
Massive words.
Well,
if you gotta take selfies for a living, come on.
It's you get it. What are you? What sign are you?
I'm a Gemini.
You're a Gemini.
The worst one.
Do you feel like a Gemini?
Today?
Look at that. That's such a Gemini answer.
Today?
So do I think that you're that way because you're Gemini? Not necessarily, but I think that perhaps you notice that in yourself because you are aware of what Gemini is and you're born under that sign.
What about life path numbers? Do you believe in those?
Goes into numerology. What life path number are you?
I think I'm number 1, 42.
Oh,
no,
42. Whoa, I don't know if it goes that high.
I think I'm
Good for you. Probably one. Yeah, I'm a 3.
Okay.
So and there is, you know, something to be said about, again, like the archetypes, the patterns that exist on multiple levels, and these just being modalities to kind of see those underlying patterns.
Wow.
Yeah.
So there's so
like
much
a language,
to it.
like a language.
Well, I barely know English.
I feel you. Me too. Me too.
Wait, is there any ancient languages that you think you've picked up?
Ooh, I have had other languages come through, but like it'd be really interesting to bring through like Aramaic or something.
Yeah,
start talking in tongues.
Yeah,
just start dancing with snakes. Really, we should go into like try out different belief systems.
Well, you should just go to Australia. There's enough snakes there to dance with.
They're
everywhere.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're gonna move on to your personal life.
Oh, great. Oh,
Here
we weren't
go.
there. Oh, that wasn't personal.
No, here we go.
All right.
I read somewhere that you had some health complications and have suggested that they could potentially be linked to your gift.
Sure.
Can you explain the brain and lung cyst and
Yep.
how it all might be linked?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I was born with a congenital brain cyst, and when I was 18, it basically like swelled in my head and caused fluid on the brain. And I had to get emergency brain surgery, and they weren't able to remove it. And so I still have it, you know, to this day near my brainstem. But that experience, you know, kind of happened right as my career was taking off.
Whoa.
So it's kind of like a really interestingly timely event. And who's to say? I mean, it might be the origin of the ability. I've often wondered if what I do is my brain or if it's something else.
Whoa.
And I've had my brain scanned during readings and have shown some abnormalities, but hard to say if it's just a cyst.
Gosh.
Yeah. So I mean,
is that scary?
Oh, I mean, it's a little weird, but it's my little lady, my little lady hump.
Yeah.
I got it back there, and sometimes it fills with fluid when it gets excited. So,
Well, don't we all?
Yeah. I mean, we're lucky.
Is there a time you wish you could fully turn it off, like in your past, where you're like, oh, I wish it could just be quiet right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's times like, you know, going down WeHo. You're like, oh, demon twink. Oh God, they're like defending. Go back to Nebraska.
Wait, is that where the demon twigs are?
Well, they're always coming from small towns.
Okay.
In the middle of nowhere, as someone from small towns.
Yeah.
And they're always the prettiest.
Yeah.
Of their surroundings.
Yeah.
The girls around them hype them up. They're like, you're going to be something. You're going to be a star. Go to Hollywood. And they're like, I've been in the theater department. I'm going to crush this sleigh. And then they come. They realize it's the land of demon twinks.
Okay, so are you religious as well?
Not necessarily. No, I don't follow like one religion.
Okay, but do you read into them or you just...
Oh yeah, I find like theology really interesting and different kind of languages. It's kind of cultural. I think of like different cultural paths to the same destination.
Yeah.
So.
Is there any that like speak to you, or just it's like I'm gonna figure them all out, or like learn a little bit about them all?
I think there's like a lot of value in exploring different ideology and viewing belief as something that is less of an identifier. So like not necessarily identifying with our beliefs, but like trying different beliefs on, like trying to kind of play with your consciousness to try to take on new things and try out even conflicting ideas.
Yeah.
Try them on. What's the harm?
Well, I'm trying to figure out what I'm into. I just don't know.
Well, that's okay. The only way you know is if you try.
If you weren't a medium, what do you think you would be?
I think if I weren't a medium,
You don't even know?
I don't even know.
No.
Sucky medium. Doesn't even know what he would be in his
Yeah,
own
you can't
future.
predict that.
Yeah, come on.
Come on.
Didn't
what's
see
going
that
on?
one.
I thought you were good at this.
I don't know, maybe a mailman or a diplomat or like a life insurance salesman.
Oh.
I'd be like, all right, get the policy.
Yeah, quick.
Discounted rate. It's not looking good. But no, get life insurance. And furthermore, encourage your parents to write a will.
Oh, I just started on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we're planning anything, but just have them write a will.
Yeah. Wait, yeah. Who are you
Yeah,
talking
no,
to? Who are you
Menendez
talking
brothers
to?
are not out yet, but no.
Yeah.
But it's really good. Estate planning, wills, life
Yeah.
insurance, if you can. Be on top of it because you never know. That's my
You don't.
PSA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good.
You
He
really
knows. He knows it's all going to end for everyone.
We're all on a sinking ship, so just enjoy your time.
If you could sit down with any historical figure, who would it be?
Any
And what would you ask them?
Oh God, that's a twofer.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Who would you talk to?
Gosh, I'm probably trying. I don't know who's historical.
Princess Diana would be interesting.
Oh, she would be cool.
Just be like, what happened?
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah,
Tell me the dirty secrets.
How did that go?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
Here we
It'd be
go.
Very interesting, right? Yeah, call
We
her
got
up.
you. Yeah.
We got to get Harry on the show.
Yeah.
And that would be very interesting, genuinely, to see kind of if there was a personal link, if something perhaps would come in.
Has there been any historical figures?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Totally.
Can you say or no?
Well,
Just one.
I've had presidents and various things come through, but only for like family and for people. But yeah, nothing really, nothing as crazy as you would expect.
Damn it! Because I'll be like, there's so many like naughty little secrets I bet they'll have.
Oh yeah.
I want to know like who's doing what.
I know.
Because I bet they're all having sex.
There's definitely still copulating, not the right word. Corresponding.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. Correspondences.
Okay, we're moving on. Relationship.
Yep.
So you've been with your boyfriend for nearly a decade.
Yep. Yes.
What makes him boyfriend material?
Boyfriend material. When I'm at home, he doesn't ask me about my job. He's more interested in me as the person. And where other people give me a pass, he doesn't.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, no, you gotta still do the dishes, buddy.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, I spent all day talking to grandma.
Yeah.
He's like, well, those dishes, I'll do them with you.
Good.
You know.
That's good.
So it's good.
But you can't be like, I'm predicting these are gonna get done.
Yeah, I definitely am not seeing that coming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do that myself.
You think I'm boyfriend material?
Oh, you are absolutely
Yes.
boyfriend material.
Yes, guys.
Amen.
Suck it, huh?
Yes. What did Amanda say?
She said I got some work to do. No, she thinks I'm good.
She's very proactive. I'm very not.
Yeah.
So I think you're good as you are.
Okay, cool.
You can just marinate in it.
Oh,
All that man.
sweet.
Just be what you are.
I don't need to change anything.
Not a damn thing.
What do you think makes a relationship strong or special?
What makes relationships strong or special? Honesty. It's a cliche answer, but just being able to like have the courage to be like, this is how I feel. And being able to have the maturity to listen to other people's truths and not take it personally.
How do you maintain a strong relationship with how busy you are?
I don't know. I think having time to be able to be more of oneself and then also contribute to the relationship and have that healthy balance is important. So I think we all are our own individuals, and sometimes people get lost in relationships. And if you can be more of who you are together, then you're a stronger unit.
It's good. This guy knows. This guy knows some stuff.
Yes, you're stronger
Strong.
together. That's right.
Strong heads. What is your advice for people who are on their journey to finding someone special or want to strengthen the relationship they're currently in?
Oh, I love that. I'd say it all starts with us. So on some deeper level, like the more of yourself you can be, the more you can explore and try out different beliefs and ideas, and be around people that encourage that and cultivate that versus shut that down.
Yeah.
Growth is inevitable if you can just water your garden.
Yeah.
So,
What are you garden?
water your garden.
Okay, so you've been in the spotlight for like 10 years, pretty much, yeah?
Yep.
What has been the biggest change in your career and the way you approach your work?
Biggest change, I would say, I've really, as people have become more mindful around the language we use around grief, that's shifted how I talk about certain subjects. And so I remember when I first started at like 19 on TV, even referring to subjects involving suicide, like I learned very quickly, you don't say commit suicide, you say died by suicide. And just that kind of like change in verbiage can have a surprising difference in how people respond and how it feels. So I think if anything, in the past 10 years, we've seen the kind of social landscape evolve and being more mindful and thoughtful for grieving people, which is great. We need more of that.
Gosh, yeah.
Like I went on a podcast about 10 years ago, and I remember throughout the whole thing, the interviewer was saying, trigger warning, we're talking about grief, trigger warning, we're talking about death. And I remember thinking, why does my occupation need a trigger warning?
Yeah.
Like we should be able to talk about these subjects openly and freely, and I think we're getting there. So.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
You just got to have a little bit of a giggle and not take it too serious.
That's right. Life was meant to be lived, and with the appreciation of what it is, and taking it for what it is.
Have you got a massive like career goal or like impact that you want to leave on the world?
I just want to take a long nap.
Yeah,
I want to take a 40-year retirement. No,
come on.
No, I just want to do podcasts every single day with Harry Jowsey. That's what we do. I'm sensing something in your future.
Oh, hell yeah!
And it's me. I'm moving in. You and I. You can put up a little like Zoltan.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
we can figure out that Ouija board and get our backs blown out.
I'll dispense advice. I'll let you get your back blown out. I'll just be in my little receptacle giving fortune cookie.
Okay, when the cameras and lights are off, when you're alone, or just with loved ones, what is a normal day in your life?
Yeah,
like?
Normal day when I'm not doing readings, I think it's kind of like that of like a elderly person. I make stained glass windows.
You do a lot of art as well.
I do a lot of art. I do a lot of like writing, with like quill and pen and ink and like Declaration of Independence installation.
Stop.
And calligraphy. I send my lover letters via pigeon.
Yeah.
And
hang out with Walter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Final things. You've been amazing. You've got an evening of hope and healing coming up. Tell us about your tour and where can we get tickets?
Yeah, so Evening of Hope and Healing. It's going to be all across the country in 2025, and I'm going to be going to various places, really just sharing readings.
Yeah.
The goal is to be able to demonstrate what I do and kind of come up with those moments that are amazing. Those validations really only known between the person that passed and the person being read. And so these shows allow for me to be able to do that. I'm able to sit with an audience for 90 minutes and relay and connect, and everybody kind of comes in as a stranger, and you find that people leave having made friends and having seen similarities in each other's experiences. Wow. And that is really powerful to be able to facilitate. So,
yeah. And to get tickets at the TylerHenryHollywoodMedium.com.
So I have a bunch of shows coming up over the course of 2025. And on February 16th, I'm actually going to be at the Palms in Las Vegas, as well as a bunch of other places. So people can check out my website for a full tour schedule. And you have a membership site as well. Yes. Tell us about that. What's going on there? Well, if you're not tired of readings yet, I connect virtually. So every week I do private reading giveaways, virtual group readings. We're able to connect from the comfort of our own home, and people all across the world Zoom in, and we share an experience, and you can watch it in real time, unedited. And, wow. It's really fascinating to see with non-celebrities. It's different and equally as validating. Yeah. Well, Tyler, you've been a treat. Oh, thank you so much, Harry. Likewise. Anything else you want to plug, or you good? That's okay. There's a butt plug joke in there somewhere. Just to end that one off. No, we can take that one out. Yeah. All good. Yeah. Well, guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, please give us 5 stars, and make sure you give us a like and a comment, and make sure you watch Tyler's shows because you're gonna love them. Thank you so much. Awesome. Woo-hoo. Thank you, guys. That was so fun. Thank you. I appreciate it.